Hey, Maestro! Don't you think that's a little bit too dramatic? Can you give me something with a bit more of a beat? Yeah, that's better.
Welcome to Mise-En-Game, a study of cinematic language in video games. Comedy isn't easy, especially when it comes to visual comedy. However, there are tried and true methods of constructing and executing jokes. And Rare, the British game developing powerhouse that gave rise to a generation of gamers, certainly knows how to use said methods. Rare burst into the mainstream in the early 90s by taking established characters and dumping them into worlds with an excess of creativity and charm. But it was in the latter half of the decade that Rare upped the ante, introducing original characters and using them to tell stories that were not only charming, but also very funny. Diddy Kong Racing gave us a world of anthropomorphized animals on a quest to save an island from a space pig. Banjo Kazooie and its sequel, Banjo-Tooie, were about the oddest of odd couples, a laid-back country bumpkin bear and an elitist, sarcastic, backpack-dwelling bird as they set out to confront a witch with self-esteem issues. Both of these descriptions probably would sound silly as pitches, but the final products are so earnest and full of inviting characters, worlds, and story concepts that they became gaming touchstones. As Rare wrapped up their Nintendo 64 run in 2001, they released what is arguably one of the most infamous comedies in gaming history, Conker's Bad Fur Day. In terms of visual and design aesthetics, Bad Fur Day has surface-level similarities to many of its Rare N64 brethren. However, Conker's Bad Fur Day makes significant departures in several areas to both satirize the very genre of gaming it inhabits.
Ah, that looks distinctly like a target. And there we have a ball. Yes, I think I get it.
And to deliver a comedic adventure that pushed the limits of what storytelling and gaming could get away with at the time.
I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you.
Rare did this in a number of ways. A quick glance will find things like fourth wall breaks and meta nods meant to catch the audience's eye for cheap laughs. There's also a number of lewd gags meant to earn laughs from how shocking it is that said content would appear in a game starring cute, cuddly children's characters. From inexplicably large breasts on a sunflower to an implied blowjob, these gags can be filed under your mileage may vary. But where Conker's Bad Fur Day really shines is in the way it uses interesting visual techniques both to tell jokes and advance the story. There are a lot of sight gags in this game that follow a simple expectation versus reality setup that allows for punchlines with varying degrees of tone. For example,
in that case, I is gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself right now. That's all there is to it. You. What are you doing? You stupid bastard! He hasn't even got a neck. Yeah, look at you up there hanging there. You stupid bastard ain't got a neck, are you? He ain't got a neck, has he? I already said that. Shut up. Okay. I don't believe this. I don't appear to have a neck of any description.
Later, we see a safe that the player had to go through a great deal of trouble to open had an insultingly easy combination that wasn't worth all the effort. It's a quick throwaway gag, but put into perspective against all the work it took to get to that point, it's bitingly funny at the audience's expense. My favorite expectation versus reality bit is easily the introduction of Greg the Grim Reaper, a sight gag that sets up one of the funniest characters in the game.
You are deader than I.
Can't be asked for this bloody ridiculous contraption.
Further in, a lot of unique design choices begin to emerge that help enhance the comedic world of the game. It doesn't take a lot of insight to notice the amount of movie references in this game, but there are a lot of designs that subtly pay homage to many famous comedic and animated works. Conker's physical presence and his chemistry in relation to his girlfriend Barry bring to mind Roger and Jessica Rabbit. In fact, the manner in which the game plays with familiar tropes in raunchy adult ways isn't too far off from the world of Who Framed Roger Rabbit or its Toontown inhabitants. We get several other references to the Looney Tunes in the form of character nods,
I say, little fella.
and similar joke setups.
I tell you, I'm not a squirrel. Get your hands off me. What are you then? I'm an elephant.
No, it's duck hunting season. That, sir, is an investigated fabrication. It's rabbit season.
Now, it's easy to engage an audience with things that are familiar, but how do you get them to stay when you're trying to sell them on something new? Well, in the case of Conker, Rare has given the character a simple, relatable goal. Conker wants to go home and sleep off his hangover. I mean, who hasn't wanted to do that? What makes this desire so hard to achieve? Well, as we watch the story unfold throughout its cutscenes, the key culprit is Conker himself. If Conker is good at one thing, it's making bad choices, and this bad decision-making emerges in the visual language of the cutscenes themselves. Several times throughout the game, Conker is usually presented with two choices, and he typically ends up choosing the path path that sends him further and further into the titular Bad Fur Day. Screen direction is a common reoccurring element, and watching the direction Conker chooses plays into his progression through the game's story. Conker takes the wrong way home from the bar and finds himself in a strange new world. He looks the wrong way and gets mugged. He walks screen right and ends up becoming a god.
I know. Yeah.
Then later he moves screen left and ends up fighting for his life.
Oh, is that the time? I gotta scoot.
In some situations, his awful decision-making even hurts other characters.
Yeah, it's written on it. Yeah. Eeny, meeny, miny. Okay.
Conker is his own worst enemy, self-assured and out of his depth, and the game always reminds us of this through its blocking and shot compositions. Often considered the Nintendo 64 swan song, Conker's Bad Fur Day is in many ways the end of an era for Rare as well. After utilizing a whole game to deconstruct and poke fun at the genre of cute, silly platformers they pioneered, the company hasn't been able to successfully come back to that well in over a decade. Conker's Bad Fur Day might not be the best title in Rare's history, but it's easily one of the smartest, and the amount of work that went into the game is very evident. Rare has created a work that pushes a common hero through a set of absurd circumstances, much like many great comedic films.
I lost the tooth. I married a whore. How dare you? She's a nice lady.
Conker's Bad Day is nothing but good for lovers of comedy, and it all comes down to Rare being master comedic craftsmen.
Marvelous.